The morning sun spilled through the bay window of my Asheville, North Carolina bakery, casting a warm glow on the trays of fresh scones. I'm Karen, a 46-year-old bakery owner who'd spent 20 years building Sweet Haven into a community staple. The scent of cinnamon and yeast usually soothed me, but today, my chest felt tight, heavy with the suspicion I couldn't shake. The old clock above the counter, a gift from my grandmother, ticked relentlessly, each second a reminder of the life I thought I knew. My husband, Mark, had just breezed in from another consulting trip to Charlotte, 130 miles away. At 48, he still had that financial advisor's charm, tailored suits, a confident grin that once made my heart skip. But last night, when he'd stumbled home at 2 a.m., his jacket carried a faint scent of lavender, not his usual cedar cologne. "Client ran late, Karen," he'd mumbled, avoiding my eyes before collapsing onto the couch. The scent lingered, an intruder in our home, knotting my stomach. I tidied the kitchen, a reflex from 20 years of marriage, gathering his keys, wallet, and phone from the counter. "Missed you already, Pops." Pops, my heart lurched. Mark was only Pops to our son, Ethan, and daughter, Lily. I glanced at the guest room where his snores rumbled. With trembling fingers, I opened the email. "You were magic last night." A purple heart emoji stabbed my chest. Who was this? Why so intimate? I scrolled, but the inbox was suspiciously clean. My mind raced. Mark's client trips had multiplied. Always to Charlotte, when he'd once hated the drive. I checked his wallet, finding a crumpled receipt from the Omni Grove Park Inn. Charlotte, 180, party of 2, Merlot, steak, shrimp pasta. Dated yesterday, he'd told me he was in Greenville. The wine was the one we'd shared on our 15th anniversary, now tainted. Who was he dining with? I snapped a photo of the receipt, pulse hammering, and slipped into the garage. Mark's SUV smelled of gasoline and lavender. My flashlight caught a used tube of personal lubricant in the glove compartment. Cap loose, residue dried. My breath hitched. We hadn't been intimate in years. He'd blamed stress, his bad shoulder. I photographed it, hands shaking, and tucked it back. Under the passenger seat, I found napkins, crumpled, reeking of lavender. Not my vanilla scent. I snapped more photos. Each click a wound. Back in the kitchen, I stared at my evidence. The email, receipt, lubricant, napkins. My intuition, sharpened by 2 decades as a wife, screamed betrayal. But with who? And why Pops? I checked his messages. Dry work texts. Nothing else. The clock's ticking mocked me. I didn't sleep. My mind a storm. Morning came, and I played the dutiful wife. Mark grabbed coffee, muttering, "Big client in Charlotte, Karen. Might be late." His tone was too casual. I nodded, forcing a smile. "Safe drive," I said. But inside, I was screaming, "Who are you meeting?" He patted my shoulder, a hollow gesture, and left. I called my friend Donna, who'd used a private investigator during her divorce. "Karen, what's wrong?" she asked, hearing my voice crack. "I need a PI, I said. "Mark's hiding something." She texted me, Sam Turner, PI 828-555-00147, discreet. I called Sam, voice unsteady. "Mrs. Wilson, send me your evidence," he said, calm but direct. "I'll start today." I emailed the photos, receipt, lubricant, napkins, email screenshot, and waited, heart pounding. At 1 p.m., I met Sam at a coffee shop near my bakery, its wooden tables a stark contrast to my turmoil. Sam, early 50s, grizzled, had eyes that saw through facades. "This looks bad, Karen," he said, reviewing my photos. "I'll follow him tonight. Don't tip him off." I nodded, throat tight. "I need the truth," I whispered. He left, and I sat, sipping coffee, feeling like a stranger in my own life. That night, I needed dough, the rhythm failing to calm me. At 11 p.m, Sam's message came, a photo. Mark, in his grey blazer, entering a Charlotte bistro, hand in hand with a woman. I zoomed in and my world collapsed. It was Rachel, my 34-year-old sister-in-law, Ethan's wife. Her red dress hugged her curves, dark hair loose, lips painted crimson. They looked like lovers, not in-laws. Another photo showed them at a candlelit table, her hand on his smile intimate. A look he hadn't given me in years. A video followed, Rachel whispering in Mark's ear, him laughing. A sound that cut me. I sank onto a stool, chest tight. Rachel, who I'd mentored through Ethan's paramedic training, who I'd taught to make my grandmother's lemon bars. At family dinners, she and Mark barely spoke. Ethan joked, "Rachel thinks Dad's too boring." It was a lie, a performance. My son's wife and my husband. How long? Why? Sam's next message hit at 2 a.m. They're at the Ritz-Carlton, Charlotte. Room booked. We're coming. Photos showed them on a balcony. Mark's arm around Rachel, her head on his shoulder. A brief kiss. Devastating. I saved everything to a flash drive, hands shaking. The bakery's silence was oppressive. Morning brought worse. Sam's photos showed Mark and Rachel leaving a lawyer's office in Charlotte. Her in a sleek blazer, him holding a folder labeled Wilson Assets. A video caught them in his SUV, Rachel marking papers, Mark nodding. Sam's note, they're planning to transfer your bakery's savings. Mentioned forging your signature. My bakery, $150,000 in savings. My life's work was their target. They weren't just cheating. They were stealing my future. I sat in the bakery, the clock ticking like a heartbeat. Mark had never balanced our books, but he'd smiled at community events, posing as the supportive husband. Now he and Rachel wanted my livelihood. My rage hardened, cold and sharp. I wouldn't let them win. That evening, Mark was chatty, oblivious. Big deal, Karen. Might need you to sign some bakery papers. Tax stuff. His smile was too smooth. I heard Rachel's voice in my head. Hurry with the fake contract. I nodded, playing along. Sure, I'll look at them. He relaxed, sipping wine, unaware I was plotting. I confided in Lily, our 16-year-old daughter, a coding prodigy who'd won national hackathons. Mom, I knew something was off, she said, eyes sharp. Dad's trips didn't add up. I've been tracking his social media. She showed me her laptop, graphs, maps, timelines. Red dots marked Mark's check-ins. Blue dots showed Rachel's. Green dots, where they overlapped, littered Charlotte. Restaurants, hotels, gyms. They've been meeting for months, Lily said. I built a program to analyze their digital footprints. It's 99.7% certain they're together. I showed her my evidence. Receipt, lubricant, napkins. Her face hardened. Mom, I can expose them. I'll make a presentation, like a scientific report, and send it to their contacts. I hesitated, then nodded. Do it, but legally. Lily smirked. All public data, Mom. They posted their own downfall. That night, Mark's keys sat on the nightstand. His snores loud. I crept to the garage, heart racing. The SUV reeked of lavender. The lubricant tube was there, freshly used. I took it to the kitchen, scrubbed my hands, and grabbed industrial superglue from the bakery's repair kit. I emptied the lubricant, filled it with glue, shook it to match the texture, and tested a drop. Seamless. I placed it back, wiped my prints. In the trunk, I found more lavender-scented napkins and a hotel keycard. I photographed everything. I set a trap, a bakery oven timer rigged to a smoke detector with a small oil-soaked cloth. Enough for smoke, but no fire. I hid a voice recorder behind a family photo in our bedroom. Ethan's wedding picture. Bitter now. It would catch every word. Next morning, I told Mark, I'm going to Greenville for a supplier meeting. Back late, his eyes gleamed. Relief, not concern. Enjoy, Karen, he said, kissing my cheek. I smiled, but inside I was steel. Instead of Greenville, I went to my neighbor Clara's house across the street, a retired teacher who'd always been kind. Karen, something wrong? She asked, seeing my bag. Just need to watch the house, I said. She nodded, offering tea and a window view. At 10 a.m., Rachel arrived in a cab, wearing sunglasses and a tight dress. Mark ushered her in, checking the street. I activated the recorder app, headphones in. Their laughter echoed, glasses clinked. Mark's voice. No hotel today, Rach. Karen's gone. Rachel giggled. Finally, no old hag spying. Old hag. My blood boiled, but I waited. The bed creaked, sounds I blocked out. Then Rachel's scream. We're stuck. What's this? Mark cursed. Hold still. I triggered the oven timer via my phone. Smoke poured from the kitchen window. Clara gasped. Karen, your house. Neighbors gathered, shouting, Call 911. Mr. Evans dialed the fire department. I feigned panic, my heart steady. The recorder caught Rachel sobbing. Do something, Mark. He growled. I'm trying. Sirens wailed. Ethan, my son, leapt from the fire truck in his paramedic gear, face grim. Possible occupants, he shouted, leading his team. They broke the door, hoses ready. Ethan's voice cracked through the recorder. Dad, Rachel, what the hell? A firefighter muttered, Jesus. Another laughed. Ethan roared, Quiet! The smoke was doused, just oil, but the bedroom was chaos. Mark and Rachel, stuck together, wrapped in sheets, were carried out on stretchers. Rachel crying, Mark pleading, Cover us! Neighbors filmed, phones out. That's Karen's husband with her son's wife. Mrs. Lopez gasped. Poor Karen. Clara recorded, whispering, You planned this, didn't you? I nodded, silent. Ethan emerged, face ashen, eyes broken. I wanted to hold him, but stayed put. Lily struck at 8 a.m. the next day, sending her presentation, Digital Analysis of Covert Relationships, to Mark's clients, Rachel's co-workers, and our family's contacts. 312 addresses. Maps showed their overlapping check-ins. Graphs tracked their social media interactions. Stats confirmed a 99.7% likelihood of an affair. Signed, Lily Wilson, 16, data analyst. The fallout was instant. Mark's clients dropped him, citing his family values hypocrisy. Rachel's marketing firm fired her. The presentation went viral, trending with Dasher Digital Justice. At the hospital, I played the shocked wife. A doctor said, Mrs. Wilson, they're separated, minor irritation. I nodded, swapping their ointment with mustard. A final jab. Minutes later, Rachel screamed, It burns. Mark cursed. What is this crap? Nurses rushed in. Patients stared. A woman whispered, That's the affair couple from the viral video. Ethan brought my envelope. Photos, videos, audio, divorce papers. I handed them to Mark and Rachel, bedridden, humiliated. Sign, I said, voice cold. You're done. Rachel sobbed. Ethan, I'm sorry. He walked out silent. Mark pleaded, Karen, let's talk. I cut him off. 20 years ends here. I left, Ethan's hand in mine, his pain mine. Weeks later, my bakery savings were safe. The forgery exposed. Mark and Rachel faced fraud charges. The viral video ruined Mark's firm, costing $80 million in contracts. I expanded Sweet Haven, hiring Ethan to manage it. Lily earned a Stanford scholarship. I started a support group for betrayed spouses, planting lavender in my garden, reclaiming the scent. The community rallied, calling me a survivor. My bakery, my son, my daughter, mine again. Lifesolver's lesson at Lifesolver. We share stories of resilience. Karen's trap and Lily's digital expose exposed a cruel betrayal, saving her bakery and dignity. Infidelity impacts 20% of marriages, often tied to financial schemes. A $180 receipt and a lubricant tube led to justice. What would you do? Share your city and thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and join Lifesolver for more stories that inspire. Support us with a super thanks to keep these tales coming. See you next time.